Hello, good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep, and I'm Gourav Gupta, and I welcome all of you to this session. Now, friends, before we start with this session, let's quickly have a tech check. So, let's see if I'm audible and visible. So, please confirm if I'm audible and visible to all of you, those who are there in the session at present. So, I'll wait for a few seconds. Let me have a confirmation if I'm audible and visible to all of you. Come on, friends. So those who are there in the session already, please confirm. Yes, we have started this session. I'm live on YouTube. All right. So yes, so I am audible and visible to all of you. Now, welcome, friends. Welcome to all of you. Welcome to the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep, and I welcome all the aspirants for CAT 2022. Now, friends, I'm hoping that like the students who have joined, yes, so Himanshu and Lovepreet, thank you for confirming. All right, so let's continue with this session. Now, friends, the students who are right now in this session, I hope they are the aspirants for CAT 2022, and with CAT 2022, they will be appearing for other MBA entrance examinations also. Now, today in this session, I'll be taking upon one of the most important sections of CAT and other examinations. Yes, LRDI section. So, friends, today we are going to talk about how to basically crack this particular section. Now, obviously, we'll not be cracking it today. So, I'll be giving you a step-by-step way of approaching this particular section, how you should plan your studies in the days to come, in the months to come. Okay, and how can you break basically the preparation that you'll be doing over the next few months. All right, now I'll be talking about both the parameters, data interpretation as well as logical reasoning. Now, friends, I'll not be teaching you today because here I'm going to discuss the strategy of tackling this particular section for CAT. So we still have around 10 to 11 months to go for CAT, and we have plenty of time. So if we will strategize all these things today only and will work on all the strategies that we are going to make in the next 1 or 2 days, then we can very well achieve a good percentile in this section. I am sure that you will be achieving a good percentile. So those who are present in this session, now, what is your target percentile in LRDI section? So write all of you. So Lovepreet, Himanshu and other students as well. So can you please tell me how much percentile are you targeting in LRDI section of CAT 2022? Or maybe like any other examination that you'll be taking. So quickly tell me what is your target percentile for DILR section of CAT 2022. All right. Now, friends, before we'll enter into this session, before I'll tell you ways to crack DILR section in CAT 2022, now let's talk about, so before I start, before I tell you different strategies, so let us talk about what we are actually targeting. Okay. Now, if we don't know the target that is there in front of us, then we'll be moving randomly in different directions and will not be able to achieve success. Also, we need to understand, like in case we are targeting 90 percentile in DILR section or 95 percentile or maybe 99 percentile, how much work needs to be done as far as preparation is concerned, and what should be the ideal, what should be the good number of attempts to basically achieve this target that we have set for ourselves. All right, so we'll talk about all these things in this session. So to start with, all right, so Shubhraj, you are targeting 99.99 percentile. I believe you should target 100 percentile. Why even leave that 0.01 percentile students? So yes, in CAT, we can score 100 percentile in any section. All right. So I'll tell you. So Shubhraj, if you and other students like you who are targeting 99 plus percentile or maybe 95 plus percentile in this particular section, if all of you will listen carefully and follow the advice, the strategy that we are going to plan today for the next of a few months or few days, all right, then I am sure that you will definitely be able to achieve this percentile. All right, so it's not actually a difficult task. So every year, plenty of students, obviously more than 2000 students will definitely get more than 99 percentile, if you understand the meaning of percentile. So today we'll be working upon in step-by-step manner. So let's first of all talk about LRDI section, particularly over the last 4 to 5 years in CAT. So to start with, I'll be talking about LRDI section in the last few years. So I'll be taking the total number of questions, how many questions were MCQs, and type in the answer type questions. What was the total marks? And the most important thing, how much time was allocated to this particular section? All right. So we'll be talking about these parameters one by one. Now, starting with CAT 2017, my God, so 5 years back. So there used to be 32 questions and a number of MCQs and theta type questions 24 and 8, as you can see in this table. So every question was allocated 3 marks and with -1 negative marking for an incorrect answer. Obviously, theta question, they don't have a negative marking. So only MCQs have negative marking. So we can say that a total of 32 questions, 24 questions of MCQs having negative marking of -1, and theta questions, 8 questions were there. All right, and a total of 96 marks were allocated. And this section was allocated a sectional time limit of 60 minutes. Now, the same happened for the next few years till 2019, or till the world was hit by coronavirus. So till 2019, we saw the same trend, number of questions being 32, sectional time limit for this particular examination being 60 minutes, and the same breakup of MCQs and theta type questions. All right. So this was the story up till 2019. But what happened in 2020 because of COVID? Basically, the total duration for CAT, like earlier till 2019, when the CAT used to happen for 3 hours, in 2020 it happened for 2 hours in order to accommodate one more slot. So up till 2019, if you remember, if you know, so the number of slots that we used to have in CAT were 2. So there were 2 slots. So CAT used to happen in 2 slots. All right. Now, starting from 2020, in order to basically accommodate one more slot, so they reduced the time limit for CAT. Okay, so starting from 2020, there were 3 slots, and the total time duration was reduced to 2 hours. And the sectional time limit for each section was reduced to 40 minutes instead of 60 minutes. So in CAT 2020, we saw changes after so many years. So there were 24 questions in CAT in LRDI section with 18 questions MCQ and 6 theta type question. Obviously, the marks allocation was similar, +3 for correct and -1 for wrong in case if it is an MCQ. All right. So a total weightage of 72 was given to this particular section, and the time limit was 40 minutes. Now, what happened in 2021? Now, the CAT authorities thought that 24 questions were too many to be done in 40 minutes. Obviously, here they reduced the time limit by 20 minutes, or I can say that the time limit was reduced to 2/3 of the previous value. The number of questions were not reduced to 2/3. Okay, so they thought that in 40 minutes it will be very difficult for students to even look at 24 questions. So in the last year, CAT 2021, the number of questions were further reduced to 20 questions. Okay, so there were 20 questions in CAT 2021 LRDI section, and the time limit was same. It was kept at 40 minutes. All right. So I can expect, like, since the COVID days are not yet over, so we can expect CAT 2022 to have again 20 questions in LRDI section, and the time allocation will be 40 minutes. But definitely we'll get to know all these things in the month of August when we'll be having the notification of CAT. But let's prepare according to the current pattern of CAT. All right. So we can say that 20 questions, 14 MCQs, 6 theta type questions, total marks 60, and the time allocation is 40 minutes. All right. Now, doesn't matter about the number of questions, we need to clear the cutoffs. Okay, so we'll also be looking at the cutoffs for this particular section, but let us understand the breakup of LR and DI questions. All right. Hi Himanshu, how are you? All right. So let us understand the breakup of LR and DI type questions, because this section is total of DILR, and we'll rarely see uh, the total number of questions to be equally divided in LR and DI. So let's have a look at the pattern, the breakup of DI and LR questions. Okay. Now, again, I'll be starting from 2017, where the number of questions used to be 32. So at that time, there were 4 sets of 4 questions each from DI as well as from LR. So I can say that the weightage of DI and LR type questions in 2017 was equal: 16 questions on data interpretation and 16 questions on logical reasoning. All right. Now this particular thing changed in 2018. Now the percentage of questions that were there in LR increased as compared to data interpretation. So total number of questions are still 32. Number of questions in DI reduced by 4. So that means 1 set less as compared to the previous year. And there was an increase of 1 set having 4 questions in LR section. So I can say that the weightage of LR in 2018 was more as compared to data interpretation, which was same in 2017. So in 2017, there was equal weightage, but in 2018, number of LR questions increased and number of DI questions decreased. Now the same trend was followed in the next year. Okay, so 2019, the number of DI questions got reduced to 8. Okay, so you are understanding what is happening over the years. Okay, so number of DI questions was further reduced by 4 questions, and now in 2019 there were only 2 sets of 4 questions each in DI. And if I talk about logical reasoning, there were 6 sets of 4 questions each. Are you understanding this fact? So year on year, what CAT authorities are doing, they are increasing the weightage of logical reasoning over data interpretation. All right. So basically, I can say that the CAT is turning more towards logical side as compared to calculative side. All right. Now, what happened in 2020 when the number of questions were reduced in LRDI section? So number of questions in 2020 was 24. Only 1 set of 4 questions of data interpretation, and there were 20 questions on logical reasoning. This was amazing. Okay. So now you can see that only 1 set of DI and 4 sets, 20 questions of logical reasoning. The same trend followed this year, my dear friends. So only 1 set of DI. So I took CAT this year. So mine was slot 1, and I could find only 1 set having 4 questions in data interpretation and the remaining 16 questions. So yes, there were 16 questions on logical reasoning, and these 16 questions were not divided in the questions having 4 questions in every set. So there were 2 sets having 6 questions each, and there was 1 set having 4 questions in logical reasoning. All right. In data interpretation, there was exactly 1 set, only 1 set having 4 questions each. All right. So I can say that obviously, like I've already mentioned, the CAT is drifting towards more towards logical side rather than calculations. Also, if I talk about the level of difficulty of this DI question, it was way low. It was very easy. Okay, so not very huge amount of calculations were required in data interpretation, but the logical reasoning portion was slightly difficult. Okay, it was challenging. Okay, so now what we have to do is, you all understand, since the CAT is moving towards being more logical rather than being more calculative, now we need to build up our logics starting from now onwards. Now logics, building up logics is basically a skill. Okay, and it's not a knowledge. All right. Now, knowledge can be gained in a matter of few days or maybe 2 or 3 months. But to build up any skill, you require time. All right, you need to polish yourself. So that means, like, since you have 10 to 11 months to go, so you can improve the skill of logical reasoning in this matter of time. Okay, don't think that we'll start doing logical reasoning questions in the month of August and we'll be able to get 99 percentile in CAT. There are some exceptions, but if you are an average student, okay, if you are average or just above average student, okay, then what you need to do is you need to start working on logics and your calculations from day one. That means from today only. All right, so people like Shubhraj, if you're targeting 99 plus percentile, then I must say that you need to put on a lot of efforts starting now. Okay, so that was the breakup of DILR questions in CAT. All right. Now, friends, any question up till now, if you have, so you can just put on some questions. You can raise some questions. You can write them in the chat box and I'll be happy to handle them. Okay. Now, friends, let's talk about the most important part, which all of you are waiting for. Now, we have seen obviously the decrease in number of questions. That is absolutely fine. But how many questions I should attempt? How many questions I should target in order to like reach that magic percentile of 90 or 95 or 99 or maybe more than that? Okay, so we are aiming a big percentile in LRDI section of CAT. Okay, now let's see how many questions we need to attempt correctly. What marks should we target in this particular section in order to achieve that percentile? All right. Okay, now Riyansh, definitely I'll be telling you the important topics of LRDI. Also, I'll suggest you some of the wonderful study material that you can use in order to practice LRDI, and what should be the step-by-step approach in order to basically in order to conquer this section in CAT. Okay, so all these things are there in this session. So please wait and watch. All right. So let's look at the target score for LRDI section. Now I ask all of you. So again, I'll start from 2017, where the total number of questions were 32. Okay. And the time allocated was 60 minutes, right? So we had 60 minutes. So can you tell me how much do you need to score out of 96? So total marks was 96. So how much you need to score out of 96 in order to get 90 percentile or 95 percentile or maybe 99 percentile? So can you give me the target score out of 96? If you want to be among the toppers, 99 percentile score करना है तुम्हें, ठीक है? तो कितने marks score करने पड़ेंगे out of 96? Any guesses? Riyansh, Himanshu, Shubhraj, Lovepreet, any guesses you want to make? 99 percentile score करना है, that means मुझे toppers में रहना है. I have to be among the toppers. So out of 96, how much you should be targeting to score 99 percentile? All right. So Riyansh says 45 marks. So Riyansh, according to you, less than 50%. Okay. So Amit says 60%. All right. So Amit, 60%, fine. Prajwal says 40 marks, Komal says 60 marks. So all of you have different views. So let's see what was the actual picture in CAT 2017. Now in CAT 2017, a person who has scored 28 marks, that means approximately 9 effectively correct questions, scored 90 percentile. All right. Now, to secure 95 percentile, you just need to increase the number of effectively correct questions to 11 to 12. So I'll write 12. And to score 45 marks and 99 percentile, you just need 15 questions to be attempted correctly. So yes, some of you are absolutely correct. So guys, it is even less than half. Okay, so 96 was the total weightage. You need to get less than half, or I can say 15 questions out of 32 questions to be correct in order to be among the top 1% of the students. Yes. So people think that we need to score like 60% of the marks, maybe 50 marks. So 50 marks was like a good guess. So Riyansh, you mentioned 45, that was bullseye. Okay, so understand, we don't need to attempt all of them. So if you are thinking that in CAT 2017 there were 32 questions to be attempted in 60 minutes, no, I will say that you just target 4 or 5 sets. All right, so let's say we'll target 5 sets completely. That means 20 questions to be finished in 60 minutes. So if I'm targeting only 5 sets, that means on an average, I can afford to spend 10 to 12 minutes on every set, which is a good average time to spend on each set. Now understand that in 2017, every set had 4 questions. Okay, so you are spending around 10 to 12 minutes on every set. Okay, with a good accuracy of let's say 80% or maybe 85%, you will be able to target this percentile. All right. Now the trend followed a little bit in the next year in CAT 2018. So basically, this is the level of difficulty I can say of LRDI section, because of which we have such low cutoffs, low percentiles. All right. Now, if I talk about 2018, it was a similar trend. So again, in 2018, around 9 questions will fetch you 90 percentile. Around 11 questions will fetch you, or I'll say 11.33 questions. So 11 questions will fetch you 95 percentile, and somewhere around 15 questions will fetch you 99 percentile. All right. So out of 32, you just need to target 20 questions. 20 questions attempt करके आ जाओ, 5 set attempt करके आ जाओ. And if you are sitting at a good accuracy, if you have a wonderful practice before your CAT, then you will definitely have a good success rate and you will get 15 correct out of 20 you will attempt. All right. Okay. Now, talking about CAT 2019, when the level of difficulty was reduced a little bit as compared to the last 2 years. So the cutoffs, or I can say that the score versus percentile mapping got increased a little bit, as you can see in the table. All right. Now, let's talk about the last 2 years. What happened in the last 2 years? Okay, so CAT 2020, when the number of questions was reduced to 24, to get a 99 percentile, you need to make just 11 correct, or maybe 11.33. So at a score of 34, a person got 99 percentile in CAT 2020 in LRDI section. All right. At a score of 25, that means approximately 8 effective correct answers. You will get 95. And if you just want to take care of the sectional cutoff for IIMs, so if you have heard, if you know that each of the IIMs, like even the top IIMs, they have a sectional cutoff of 90 percentile. All right. So in order to clear the sectional cutoff for each of the IIMs, you just need to make 7 questions correct, and that's it. You will be able to get 90 percentile. All right. So this is the percentile score mapping for 2020. Now, what happened this year? CAT 2021, when the number of questions got reduced to 20 and the time limit was same, still the cutoffs fell as compared to the previous year, because the level of difficulty was slightly up, we can say that. So amazingly, in CAT 2021, at 6 correct questions, so out of these 20 questions, there were 2 sets of 6 questions and there were 2 sets of 4 questions each. Okay, now a student who is able to basically attempt one DI set, which was damn easy, of 4 questions, and one more logical reasoning set having 6 questions. Okay, so if you are able to attempt these 10 questions correctly, you will get more than 99 percentile. Okay, it might be possible that you will get a percentile of 99.5 or maybe 99.9. Okay, so if you have around 7 questions correct, 95 percentile, and 9 questions correct, approximately you will have 99 percentile. So out of 20, less than 10 correct, effectively less than 10 correct will fetch you this percentile. All right. Okay. So basically in the last few minutes, what we have seen is we have seen what actually we are targeting for. Okay. Now, some of the students were asking about some of the important topics for LR and DI. So I'll now discuss some of the very important topics that we must target in LRDI. Okay. So let's talk about these. So these are some of the areas to focus if I am considering CAT only. Okay. Now, if you are looking for some examinations other than CAT, then the list will increase a little bit on the logical reasoning side. So first of all, let's talk about data interpretation, what all areas we need to focus. Okay. Now, over the years, from data interpretation, we have seen the questions coming on tables. So basically what data interpretation is, some data, some mathematical values, some numbers will be given to us, which will be followed by some questions. All right. Now there can be different ways in which this data can be presented in front of you. So it can be in the form of tables, it can be in the form of caselets, it can be bar graph, line graphs, or pie charts. Okay, it can be a hexagonal chart, a radar chart, column chart, a spider chart. So data can be given in any of the forms to all of you, which will be followed by questions. Now friends, majority of these questions are basically on percentage calculations. So you might have to find out the percentage change over the different years. So these are the different type of questions that you will be getting in data interpretation, but the data may be given in any of the forms. All right. Now, the next area you can focus in data interpretation will be or should be Venn diagrams. Now, we have seen some questions coming on Venn diagrams over the previous years. Now, Venn diagrams, when you will progress in your studies, so you will understand there are different types of questions that can be made on Venn diagram, categorizing from 3-set Venn diagrams, 4-set Venn diagrams. There can be questions of maxima and minima on Venn diagrams and so on. All right. The next thing is routes and networks. So there will be different routes and networks that you will have to basically select in order to minimize the cost of any route. Okay. So these are the different type of questions that you need to focus. All right. Don't worry, I'll also tell you how to basically prepare for all these things in this session only. Okay, so we'll be making the entire strategy for the next 11 months, and we will definitely stick on those strategies. All right. Okay. So Himanshu, this is very important information that we must keep in our mind. All right. Chaliye. Now let's talk about logical reasoning. Now, if I talk about the first two topics, arrangements and groupings. Okay, arrangements and groupings, without fail, we have seen at least one set from arrangements and groupings in every year of CAT. All right. So arrangements and groupings becomes very important. It's not the basic linear arrangement or circular arrangement. Okay. So it's arrangement plus grouping, a combination of grouping, dividing like some given people in teams. So like I have mentioned, team formation, order and ranking. So these type of question comes every year where you'll have to basically group people according to different parameters. So let's say I have also taken one example in this session. So I'll be taking you to that example, a question which came in CAT 2021. All right. So basically you can say that there are few friends. Let's say there are 5 friends and they live in 5 different cities. They drive 5 different cars and they work in 5 different companies. And then there will be some conditions which will be given so that you will be able to group, so that you will be able to match every person with the city, the car he drives, and the company in which he works for. Okay, so these are the questions which are of the type of arrangements and groupings. Now, the next hottest topic in logical reasoning is games and tournaments. Okay, so definitely you'll be studying this particular topic. So there can be different type of games based on coins or cards, or there can be different puzzles. There can be questions on tournaments. So let's say there is a football tournament in which there are 5 teams, and every team will play with every other team. So we call such a kind of arrangement as a round robin. Okay, so in football or in IPL, Indian Premier League, this kind of format is basically played when they are playing league matches. Okay, okay. Jagriti, I'll come to your question. You are asking, sir, can I do MBA with arts and economics? So you have arts and economics. So you like, are you telling me your background? Like you have economics and arts as a background, and are you asking if you can do MBA? Okay, so please clarify this thing. Okay, now moving on to different type of questions. So I've just explained you what tournaments are. So it can be round robin tournament, or if you have seen, or if you are following Australian Open, which is happening nowadays. Okay, so Australian Open is basically a knockout type of tournament. So we start from round one. Let's say I'm playing with you. So in round one, we both are playing. If you will win, you will go to the next round. I have lost, I will be knocked out of the tournament. So these type of tournaments are called knockout tournaments. So there can be like questions on games and tournaments as well. All right. Now, another important topic is binary logic, but every year we don't see a question on binary logic. But this is again an important area to be focused on. All right. So these are some areas that you need to prepare. Now, how we will be preparing on these areas? This is the biggest question. So let's talk about the different steps to be taken. Okay, steps. So that means they should come one by one. All right. So different steps to be taken in order to improve both these areas, logical reasoning and data interpretation. Okay. So I'll be writing these steps for all of you, and you can make a note of that as well. Towards the end, you may take a picture of this. As it is, this session will be there on YouTube. Okay. So let's talk about different steps we need to take in order to improve here. Okay. Jagriti saying, I've done post graduation from economics. Now I want to do MBA. Yes, 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 Jagriti, you can do that. Even if you are not a postgraduate, still you are eligible for an MBA. So a graduate in any discipline is eligible for doing an MBA. All right. So you need to be a graduate. You will be able to do MBA. The stream, the background does not matter at all. All right. Okay. So like to be eligible for MBA, you need graduation, a full-time graduation, which like full-time graduation is a requirement of some of the colleges. Okay. So yes, Jagriti, you are eligible. You can do an MBA. And if your background is economics, then it will definitely help you in the curriculum of MBA. All right. It will support you. Now let's talk about the steps. Now I'll be mentioning the steps for LR and DI separately. There may be some common steps we need to take, which will be common for both of them. Okay. Now for LR, first thing that you need to do is you need to start building up your logics. So start building your logics. Now how this can be done? Now you can start solving some basic puzzle books from Shakuntala Devi, from George Summers. Okay, George Summers, this reminds me, like we are going to start with a series of sessions on George Summers puzzles from February. So all of you must be a part of that. So in case you want to attend all those sessions, then quickly subscribe our channel. And if you're liking this session, so please press a like button. So from February, we are going to start with wonderful sessions on logical reasoning and data interpretation. So you can subscribe this channel, YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep, so that you will not miss any of these sessions. Okay. So the first step is build your logic, right? For logical reasoning. So like I was saying that you can start solving basic level puzzles. Okay. Newspaper में सुडोकू आता है, उसको solve करो. कुकुरो आता है, उसको solve करो. So that will basically enable you in applying different logics of arrangements and calculations. All right. So start with this basic thing. and you can continue this thing for the next 1.5 month. Okay, just focus on your basics. Similarly, in DI, what you need to do is you need to basically practice calculations. Okay, you need to improve your calculations. All right, so this is a very important thing as far as data interpretation is concerned. Now, what type of calculations will be required? Not huge multiplications, definitely not. So it's not like you start solving some of the Vedic mathematics books. Okay, that is actually not required for CAT. Okay, a lot of people, a lot of faculty mentors, they may suggest you to work on your calculations when it comes to multiplying 3-digit numbers, 4-digit numbers, 5-digit numbers. This is actually not required for CAT. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to practice calculations which are related to percentages. So faster calculations, like if I'll ask you what should be or what will be 6.25 percentage of 288, then you should be able to give this particular answer in less than 10 seconds. Okay, so 6.25 percentage, this particular thing is very, very important. Okay, so you will, like, when you will attend first basic lectures of percentages, you will understand something which is known as percentage equivalence of fractions. Okay, so I can convert this percentage into its fractional equivalent, which is 1 by 16. So you need to do 1 by 16 of 288, and what I have done is I've converted a difficult calculation into an easier calculation. All right. Now 1 by 16 of 288 can easily be calculated. Okay. So this is the type of calculations that you need to focus at the beginning. If you will leave all these things for the end, like if you are entering the test series in the month of July or August and you don't understand such basic calculations, then you will struggle at that time. Also, if you look at the analysis sessions at that time that we'll be taking, okay, yes, we'll be having analysis sessions of our mock test series. So we will be using all these techniques, and at that time you will feel out of the class. All right, so in the beginning only start working on all such basic parameters, basic calculations and logical techniques. All right, other than percentages, must work on ratios. So quant में आपको ये chapter मिलेंगे percentages and ratios. Attend those classes properly, practice all the calculations, okay, and then work on these calculations. Other than that, must remember your squares and cubes. Okay, squares at least up till 25 and cubes up at least up till 15. All right, so these are the things that you need to start working upon as the first step towards LR and DI section. Okay, now next is second step is after you are you have built your logics for the next 1 month, then you can start taking topics one by one. Okay, so topics in logical reasoning, so basic arrangements, groupings, puzzles, blood relations, Venn diagrams, direction sensors, clocks, calendars, cubes. So you can take up all these topics which will be there in some of the study material that you will be following. Okay, so start working on these topics one by one. At least you must be knowing the basics of each of these topics. Okay, now this can be done. So let's look at the timelines. So step one, I can say you can work on step one for the next 1 month till the end of February. Okay, then in March and April, you can work on these topics one by one. So every topic will not take more than 3-4 hours. Okay, now it's up to you. 3-4 hours you want to spend, you want to take out in 1 day or maybe 2 days. But by the end of April, you should be finished with all this topic wise preparation. Okay, so topics, arrangements, puzzles, clocks, cubes, calendars, series type question, blood relations, Venn diagrams. So work on all these areas. Now similarly in DI, work separately, practice separately questions which are related to tables, bar graphs, line graphs, Okay, these are basics, pie charts, and so on so forth. So these will be the basic topics you need to work. So there will be step by step, chapter by chapter approach that you'll have to follow in the month of March and April. Now Riyansh is asking, sir, I've completed my graduation in the month of May and I am eligible for CAT 2022. Yes. Will I be called a fresher or not? Okay, so Riyansh, you have already completed your graduation last year in the month of May. Okay, we are sitting in January. So if you have already completed your graduation last year in the month of May and you'll be appearing for CAT 2022, then there will be a drop year that will be into consideration. Okay, so in case you will have like if you are working right now or you can manage some kind of work experience, then you will not be considered as a fresher. All right. Okay, so fresher is always a person who does not have a work experience. Okay, so even if you will take CAT after 3 years and you don't have any work experience, that means you are a fresher. All right, so this was step 2. Okay, now step 3, I can say that it is common for both LR and DI. Step 3, let's talk about this. Now step 3 is follow a particular study material. Now follow a particular study material, all right, and finish it. Finish the entire study material. So it's totally up to you if you are following any of the material from institute or you are following any of the books which are published by different authors. So it's totally up to you, but follow a particular study material. Don't keep on flip-flopping between different study materials. So it's not like if you're started with the material of Institute 1, then you jump to Institute 2, then in between you went to author 1 and then author 2 and so on so forth. Don't do that, because what will happen is you will not be able to access the level of difficulty, the increase in the level of difficulty. Okay, so that is why, since we are following a step-by-step approach, so we need to follow the study material of a particular institute or a particular author. Okay, so if you want to buy some books, I can suggest you some of the books which are written by brilliant authors like Arun Sharma. So you can like buy logical reasoning book by Arun Sharma and then data interpretation by Arun Sharma. So these are the separate books. Or you can go to Nishit K. Sinha. He's also a wonderful author. Okay, so believe me, all the books are absolutely same. You just need to focus on one study material. Okay, you can also look at the study material that is being provided by BYJU'S exam prep, and that is also a complete study material in itself. So we follow a step-by-step approach. So we will basically prepare you for the basic questions. So the approach that I am right now discussing, this is the approach that we take at BYJU'S exam prep. All right. So follow a particular study material and finish it. Now finishing it means there will be some practice test as well. All right, sectional test as well, which will be available with this study material. So just perform all these things step by step and finish it. All right, now fourth is after you are done with the study material given by any of the institutes, now you can buy any book. So if you are following any of the institute study material, after finishing it, then you can buy some of the books which I have suggested and finish it. Okay, now the next step is the test series. Okay, once you are in the month of July or August, okay, then you must start with any proper test series having at least 25 test papers only for CAT. Okay, so go for this particular test series and perform each and every test as it comes in front of you. Now friends, a very important thing I'm going to discuss now is which is related to test series. Now let's say you are entering into a test series in the month of July and you end up taking one test and like whatever score you get. Right now I'm not concerned with the score. Now after that particular test that you have taken, analysis is the most important thing which is or which should be done immediately after the test is taken. A test, a mock paper is incomplete without analysis. All right. So if you are taking a mock and you are not doing the analysis of that mock, then stop taking mocks. Okay. Why do we take mock? In order to improve. Now, how do we improve? When we will understand what mistakes we have done. If we are not doing the analysis, we'll not be able to understand our mistake and will not be able to work on these mistakes and eventually will not be improving. Okay, so it's not just a test, it's a practice material that you are taking. All right, so don't forget to do a proper analysis immediately after you have taken the test and set some other targets for the next paper. So let's say in LRDI section, in the first mock that you have taken, you are able to attempt 5 questions correctly and you have made 5 incorrect. Okay, that means out of a total 10 attempts, 5 correct, 5 wrong. So try to basically first of all set a target of increasing your accuracy. So in the next test, again attempt 10 questions, but try to make 7 questions correct and only 3 incorrect. So gradually work on your accuracy. Your speed will definitely improve with time. So accuracy is the most important part that you need to focus at the beginning, and speed will keep on increasing gradually. All right. So जितना ज़्यादा practice करोगे उतनी ज़्यादा speed increase होती रहेगी. Okay, so these are the steps that you need to take in order to secure your target percentile in LRDI. All right. Okay. Now Lovepreet is asking, okay, so Riyansh, you will get your degree in May 2022. All right. So Riyansh, you were also eligible for CAT 2021. Now you are taking CAT 2022, but similarly, like if I'll say that you don't have any work experience, so at the time you'll be filling the form, it will be August and you will not be having any work experience. So yes, you will be taken as a fresher, you will be considered as fresher. But if you have job, if you are working at the time of the admission process, that means at the time of interviews, then it will give you a nominal weightage as well because you will be working at that time. All right. Now, Lovepreet, you retracted your question, but you can put your question once again in case you want to ask something. All right. So these are different steps I need to take properly, step by step, in order to get a good percentile. Okay. I advise all of you, don't start with any book right now. So like Arun Sharma, it's a wonderful book, but we need to first of all work on our basics before we take up any such book like Arun Sharma. So work on the basics like I have mentioned, then probably in the month of May or June, you can buy this book. I'm not stopping you from buying these books. These books are actually wonderful study material. All right. Now, an important thing, a key to success, a few points that we need to remember at the time of our preparation. Focus on these things. Now, first thing is, like I mentioned, follow a particular study material. Follow one particular material at a time. All right, don't like keep flip-flopping, don't keep wandering between different study materials. Okay, so follow one particular material and finish it. Okay, this is very important. All right, so this is the first step which I've already explained. Second is go for a step-by-step approach. So by step-by-step approach means don't start with mock test series at the beginning. Okay, don't start with test series. Okay, if you are confident enough, you have prepared for CAT once, then you can start with the test series. But before you enter any test series, you need to work on your basics properly. All right, there are some students like who like to do experiments, but right now this is not the time to experiment. They start with very difficult questions, okay, which is not advisable at this time. It will only demotivate you. All right, and the most important thing, you have to be regular till the end. All right, regular means obviously you understand what do I mean by being regular. This is the most important aspect for especially for LRDI section. I'll tell you why. Now, with my experience, like I've been seeing students, I've been teaching students since last 14-15 years. Okay, now my experience says that, again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the session, this particular area, LRDI section, is a skill. Okay, you require time to build up a skill. Okay, so this is why you need to be very much regular throughout this next 11 months. Also, if you'll study, if you'll prepare, if you'll practice LRDI questions for the next 2-3 months, you will be at a different confidence level. Okay, but if you'll stop practicing it for the next 2 months, you will again fall back. All right, and after those 2 months of break, you will have to start from scratch. You will have to again build up that skill, that speed, that momentum. Okay, so it's better to be regular. So starting from now, just allocate at least 3 to 4 days in 1 week towards LRDI section. All right, so practice, let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm giving these 3 days. On every day, I'm studying LRDI for 2 hours each. This much is enough to secure 99 percentile. Believe me. So starting today, every alternate day, if you are practicing LRDI for 2 hours without fail, okay, you will definitely get a good percentile in your CAT. All right, so that has to be maintained till the end. Let's say some of you will have college examinations. Fine, college examinations will be there for 15-20 days or maybe a month. Okay, now in these 15-20 days a month, you can reduce the frequency. So you can reduce the frequency to twice a week, or maybe 2 hours in 1 week. Let's say Monday को one hour के लिए study कर लिया, then Thursday को 1 hour के लिए study कर लिया, but try to be regular. All right. Okay, so Prajwal is answer. I got my final semester marks in September end. Then what is my gap? Will it look like? Okay, so you got final. Now, Prajwal, it totally like gap जो भी है, it is counted from the year in which you have graduated. So let's say I graduated in 2021. Okay, so generally in India, what happens is graduation finishes in the month of May, June, or July, maximum by July. Okay, it does not depend on the month in which you get your result. All right, so in the month of July, if let's say you have completed your graduation, or in your case, you have uh, like received your final semester marks in September, but you must have completed your graduation somewhere in the month of May or June. Okay, and you will be now taking CAT 2022. So 2021 graduate taking CAT in 2022. Okay, so this is a gap. All right, even if you will be finishing your graduation in 2022 and you are not employed at the time you are taking CAT, then you will be considered as a fresher. All right, okay. So friends, these are some very important points that I have just discussed in front of you in order to like be successful in this particular section. All right, now I'll be coming regularly with more such sessions where I'll be basically working on different type of strategies that we must be working on. Also, I'll be coming up with a lot of knowledge sessions where I'll be discussing questions of quant, some of the logics, some of the topics of quantitative aptitude, as well as LRDI. In case you want to basically attend all these sessions, to quickly subscribe our channel. So if you are a subscriber, then you will not miss any of these sessions in the future. Also, if you're liking this session, please do press the like button. Now, finally, my dear friends, a bit just a glimpse of the different type of question that we have seen the last year. So I've just taken two examples. So this is one of the examples of data interpretation question. So the data is in front of you, a very simple data in terms of bar graphs, and a very easy question. It was in CAT 2021. Okay, so basically they have given the data for 2 different years. So let's just look at this data if we are able to understand it or not. Okay, so the horizontal bars in the above diagram represents 2022 aggregate sales. So horizontal bars, so these bars that they have made like this, these are the horizontal bars. So these represents 2020 aggregate sales in rupees million of a company for the different subcategories of products. So there are different subcategories which are mentioned: bookcases, chairs, furnishing tables, and so on so forth. The top four categories, the top four product subcategories, bookcases, chair, furnishing, and tables, belong to furniture. So up till this, book chairs, up till tables, this is for furniture. All right. The bottom four categories, the bottom four subcategories belong to technology. So these four are technology. All right. While the other product subcategories belong to office supply. So the remaining, that means all these up till this, which are office. All right. Okay. So this data is for 2020, which is mentioned by the bar graphs. Now there are some vertical lines as well. Now they have mentioned for each of the product subcategories, there is a vertical line indicating the sales of corresponding subcategory in 2019. So 2020 का data दिया हुआ है, 2019 का भी data दिया हुआ है. Okay, so let's see how to solve this question. So this is the exact question of CAT 2021. The total sales in million in 2019, that means we have to look at the horizontal lines from product in office supplies category. So office, so these are the subcategories which are in office category. So we just have to add these values and we'll have to find out which one of these options is closest to the correct answer. Okay, so I'll write all the values, approximate values we can use. So for binders, the value is looking like a bit above 3.5. So I'll write it as 3.7. For art, it is below 0.5, so 0.4. I'm mentioning all the values against each of these bars. Okay. Then for appliances, this one I need to read. So it is a bit less than 2. I'll take it as 1.9. For envelopes, it is 0.3. 0.4 से तो कम लग रहा है, तो इसलिए मैंने approximately 0.3 दे दिया. For fasteners, 0.1. For labels, I can say it is 0.2 or maybe 0.25. I'm just writing the approximate values once again. So don't spend a lot of time in writing these values because options are very far away from each other. So 0.1, 0.05, इतना difference होगा तो वो भी चलता है. Next value is 1.5, clearly visible. Next value is bit less than 4.5, so 4.3. And the last value supplies is 1.1. Now adding all these values will take you to your correct answer. So 3.7 plus 4, 4.4, 4.1, then 6, 6.3, 6.4, 6.6, 8.1, 12.4, 13.5. So the sum I am getting is 13.5 and I'm lucky to have exact value in the options. So 13.5, yes, it was the correct answer. Even if I'll get 13.6, 13.7 or maybe 13.4 or 13.3, it will not make any difference when I'm going to mark an answer. Okay, so this was the entire set of data interpretation. There were other 3 questions as well, which were as easy as the question that we have just done. All right, so this was exact question of CAT 2021 LRDI section. Okay, now let's see one of the questions of logical reasoning. Now friends, the questions of logical reasonings are a little lengthy. Now, like I mentioned, we have 40 minutes, and if we are able to attempt 10 questions correctly, we will achieve 99 plus percentile. Believe me. Okay, we have just seen the parameters, the stats. Okay, so what you need to do is just pick up 2 basic, 2 easy, 2 doable sets and spend these 40 minutes on these 2 sets. Yes, you will be able to secure at least 90 plus percentile if you are successfully able to solve these 2 sets. So this is one of the sets. It looks lengthy, but it was not difficult. Okay, there were 6 questions which were attached to this particular set. So this is basically arrangements and groupings type of question. So what all data is given, let us understand. Okay, there are 18 research papers written by 8 authors. So research papers, authors, 18 research papers and 8 authors. So right now 2 parameters, research papers and authors. In 4 issues of different months, January, April, July and October. So there were issues, third parameter. Each of the research paper was written by one of the 8 authors. Fine. 5 papers were scheduled in each of the first 2 issues. So further information. So January and April each has 5 issues, while 4 were scheduled in each of the last 2. So July and October has 4 each. So 5, 5, 4, 4. That is a total of 18 research papers are divided like this. All right. So up till now, 3 parameters we have. Every author wrote at least 1 paper and at most 3. So again, they are talking about authors and papers. Fine. The total number of papers written by ADGH was double the total number of papers written by the other 4. Again, the same relation between these. Now the next parameter they are going to introduce. 4 of the authors were from India, 2 from Japan and China. 2 each from Japan and China. So country they have also introduced. Okay, now each author belonged to exactly one of the 3 areas: manufacturing, automation, logistics. So another parameter, 5 parameters we already have. As per the journal policy, none of the authors could have more than 1 paper in any issue of the journal. So a condition, and this is followed by these 9 conditions. Okay, now 9 conditions will now help you in arranging these research papers among authors, among different issues, then among their different countries and their different areas. All right, so this is the level that we'll have to target at the end, but we cannot attain this level immediately right now, so we'll have to proceed step by step. All right, so fine. So friends, this was all about the steps we need to take in order to achieve a wonderful percentile in LRDI section. In this session, I have discussed what we need to target, okay, and what all areas we need to focus on LRDI, what study material that you can use, and what should be the step-by-step approach starting now in order to get a good result. Okay, so friends, I'll keep coming back again and again in front of all of you with different types of sessions here on YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. So quickly subscribe to this channel and please do press a like button. All right, now friends, some of the other things that we have for all of you in the box. So one GDPI preparation program which we have already started for all the students who have taken the examinations this year and they are looking for a wonderful GDPI program to start with. All right, so this is one program that you can join, and you can just grab necessary amount of information by calling at this number. All right, next is if you are preparing for CAT 2022. Yes, so we already have started a batch for CAT 2022. This is a complete course, batch number 5, and these are the details about the entire details, the highlights about this particular batch. Okay, and the faculty like me will be teaching in this batch, and definitely I'll also be among one of the mentors who will be available for all of you. Okay, so again, if you in case want to join this batch for CAT 2022, which has already started, okay, so you may call at this number and you may join this batch. All right, so please do subscribe my channel. This is our channel, BYJU'S Exam Prep YouTube channel. Share, comment, and do like this session if this session was of any help for all of you. All right, so friends, that is all from my side. Do follow us on Instagram. Do subscribe on YouTube and Facebook as well. You can join our Telegram group as well. So we have a channel which is running on Telegram where there is a feature that we have just started in which students can interact, live interaction with a mentor every week. Okay, so you can avail this particular thing by joining our Telegram channel, and all the necessary details are mentioned in the description of this session. All right, so friends, hope to see you once again. All the very best with your preparation for CAT 22 and other examinations. Have a good day. Bye bye.